A lot of people believe that blockchain is going to bring revolutionary impact on world economy and to a lot of new startups as well. And in the next panel, let's hear from Incubator's point of view. We are very pleased to invite Asia's Tier 1 incubation organizations and their executives to join us in this panel. So now let me invite our moderator, Dr. Ching Huang, Chairman of CBIA, to the stage. Doctor, please. And now our panelist, Rajendra Jagdale, I hope I pronounced it correctly, Director General and CEO of Science and Technology, Park, Pune, India. And Minesh Pore, Head of Startup Launchpad Global Sources from Hong Kong. And Mr. Phillip Kemp, CEO of Business Foundations, Inc., Australia. And last but not least, Ms. Sansanee Huabsomboon, Director of Technology Business Incubation Center from Thailand. She's not here yet. That's okay. We will go on with our panel. Doctor?
Okay, yeah, welcome. Actually, I completely convinced by the IOTA. It's great that actually Taipei actually involved also deeply, and then one of our involving company also doing this. So, but we like to shift the gear a little bit because of this fast booming in terms of the entrepreneurship, right? Entrepreneur, but how we can really help, right? So it's as an incubator. People say, oh, yeah, it's take a while, and people talk more about accelerator. They do the investment, but then the really things that we like to help our entrepreneur, and we are not just helping to grow, we help them to go global, right? But I think it's really tough, right? Because of there's a localized and how we're going to make things work. We need partner, but then how we really be able to engage them. So I think this is the last set of the question, especially in the past, the industry segment have been set by the big company. So they have the localized for their so-called vision, what thing can be done in what area, right? So that's the monopoly by the big company. Now it's change a lot because of the IoT, because of the new competition coming. So, but that's also very challenging because all of a sudden you don't know what to do. Because a new entrepreneur like to come up with a new idea, but then unfortunately, all rest of the world are doing maybe the similar thing. So how we can really help? So I think the Sansanee is from Thailand, but I will give you some time to think about it. So I think the Rajay is really, because of India, I no doubt it's a fast booming in terms of the like startup India, and there are a lot of funding to support another initiative. Rajay is a representative of the engagement of the investment and also global opportunity. And Minesh is I met him a few times in Hong Kong. The reason I like to invite him because he actually have every different thought of the inhibits, you know, the how do they do things to help entrepreneurs to engage the business. So very successful in Hong Kong. Phil Kemp is I think he might have the most challenge because the Australian actually have in the comfort zone. How to make their people go outside, not just the beach and whatever, having the good life. I think Thailand is a fast, like in a couple of years, there's a fast growth, and that's certainly in the Thailand 4.0. There are new initiatives in terms of the industry zone. So we'd like to share some of those. So how about start with Rajay?
Thank you very much, Hank. Let me tell you a little about myself so that you know what to expect from me. I've been a professor in one of the prestigious universities in India for 20 years before my present life. So from a professor to the scientist to technology manager, business incubator manager, and now I look after several incubation programs. We have incubated a large number of companies, and I was the former president of Indian Science Parks and Business Incubators Association. So we have a network of nearly 100+ incubators across India. Recently, last 8-9 years, I have been an angel investor. I have invested in about 87 companies. Then I have 3 venture funds, 1 hedge fund, and 1 major real estate fund. So 5 funds. So about 800 plus $1 million venture fund. That's what I manage. So you should know what you expect from me. Compared as far as today's topic is concerned, for the new emerging technology markets, I will share with you some of the excellent initiatives we have in India through our incubation network with the support from Government of India we have taken. And that could be probably some kind of a role model or reference model, I would say, for other countries that probably could follow. We face the same problem when any new company, startup comes to us with a technology which is not proven, which is not known. There's no sufficient market already developed. We have a program, a special program launched by Minister of Science and Technology, and we are part of the network. It's called Nidhi Prayas. We give a grant in aid, a clean, no loan, no equity. It's a clean grant in aid because entrepreneur takes a risk for converting idea into a prototype and sizable pilot. Once we have this prototype ready, then we have a next level of funding, which is a very, very soft loan. But most of this soft loan business, everybody understands. I will not spend much time on soft loan. It could be an equity, it could be a combination of debt and equity. But more beyond soft loan, we have a program in case of companies which are into biotech. Now, at the moment 7, but we are planning to give a tax holiday up to 10 years. Any startup in a biotech sector may get a tax holiday up to 10 years, which is a big risk, and non-biotech up to 7 years. So that's an excellent initiative for new emerging technologies coming into market. Another interesting that is happening, there are 2 interesting things I must share with you. One is the incubators also take risk in promoting such a new technologies. So incubators in India are exempt from whole of taxes. Incubators do not pay any taxes. I know in some countries, on the surplus they generate, there is a tax. But we don't pay any tax. And incubating companies or startups also do not have to pay tax up to certain, almost up to 5 million. Up to $5 million, they need not pay tax, which is very, very good. $5 million of taxable income. So you can imagine, which is very, very good. One more thing that's very important that now something which is already happening is investors in our in startup, whether they are investors in the incubators or investors in startups, whether they're angel or VCs, government is thinking of exempting them from taxes from the income they generate by investing in startups, which is, I think, very good initiative because we believe investors, which are the angel investors or VCs, they take substantial risk. And once they are taking a risk and they are risking money, which is tax-paid money, they are investing in a startup, which is a big risk. And if at all they make money out of that, will be exempt from taxes, which is, I think, very good initiative. And all emerging technology risk would be mitigated. I have been involved in drafting procurement policies. You know, government procures a lot of material from various companies. But if now the procurement policy is very clearly, I was part of the drafting procurement policy, very clearly says, if government purchases material from startups, they can be bypassed from normal procurement process, what we conventionally call tendering. Because our startups do not fall into, they do not pre-qualify in tenders because they don't have good balance sheet, they don't have good record, they don't have net worth, high net worth, neither they have 3 years of running company record. So they can be bypassed from all this tendering process, and procurement could be direct from the startups, and their value of material could be even 10% higher than the comparable product in the market. So even if they are selling at little higher price, government can procure that from this. I think these are very good initiatives which are supporting new emerging technologies and the risks that all of us take as incubator managers and startups they take to bring new technology to the market. Some risk is shared by this kind of fiscal and non-fiscal support.
That's great.
Thank
I mean,
you.
that's a great, super government policy to engage the entrepreneur ecosystem. No, that's very attractive. So
I'm
that's-
personally here as an investor looking for excellent opportunities and good companies to invest. Please.
Great. Okay. So, Minesh, how about from your point of view? How can you help the entrepreneur?
First of all, I should be investing in all those incubators to get some tax benefits. I'm interested in understanding more about that. So I work with a lot of incubators, accelerators, and we partner with a lot of incubators and accelerators. I work for Global Sources, which organizes Startup Launchpad. And with Startup Launchpad, our objective is to help these companies and new emerging technologies that come out of these incubators to take these to the retail world, to take them, to distribute them into big retailers, let them to go to Walmart or Apple or any of these big retailers that are selling those emerging technologies, or to help these guys scale up. The startups will scale up only and only when the product is sold. So our job is to make sure to partner with, for example, we partner with Dr. Huang, we partner with various incubators in US, in Europe, in Asia, in many in China, to help only one purpose, get that technology in front of the consumers through the retail and distribution. We believe a startup is valued and increases in value when they get purchase orders or their products or solutions are used by consumers. Unless until they get sold to the consumers, unless until they get acceptance, there is no value in it. So we organize Startup Launchpad in Hong Kong in April and October. We provide education to the startups in terms of what is happening in technology. What are the, let's say AI and blockchain. Everybody talks about AI and blockchain. But what are the real uses of AI and blockchain, whether it as a solution used for enhancing point of sales, enhancing experiential retail, or if it is used in products, how can that be enhancing the value of the product that they produce? So that's majorly our role. We are a 47-year-old company, so pretty old, but we are owned by Blackstone, so one of the largest private equity companies in the world. We don't personally invest in any of these startups. We provide platforms. Thank you.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think Phillip might have the top time to tell us how to promote their entrepreneur because, as I said, they have very comfortable life style. So, Phillip, your time. So.
Hello, and it's great to be here in Taipei. We were talking earlier, we've been having a one-day meeting of Asian incubators here in Taipei, and we were talking about how life is very good in Australia, and we have great beaches, great food, great lifestyle. Why do our entrepreneurs want to push to start and grow companies in Asia? But I have some statistics to share. So the OECD statistics of research and development, Australia always rates in the very top, 1 or 2 or 3 top countries in the world for research and development. Some of the brightest minds, some of the best universities, developing great technology. And then we're at the bottom of the OECD list in terms of commercialization. You know, right at the bottom. So Australia, if it comes out of the 30 countries of the OECD, we are the worst at getting our technology to market. So it's our challenge. So picking up what you were saying, you know, in what we're doing in emerging markets with emerging technology, and it's exactly as you said, is find that customer. You know, blockchain, AI, roboticization, automation, great technologies, but with our companies, it must be translating that technology into practical day-to-day activity. And that's customer. You need that customer. And in our incubation programs in Australia, the best ones are very good at identifying a potential customer for a new emerging technology, working with them. What is it? What's their problem? What is their issue? How can this technology help you? And then obviously become a customer and have a transaction and payment. So for me, you know, VCs and funding, all that comes later. You know, all that happens later. If you haven't got that customer for the tech, you don't have much. So we're trying to overcome that in Australia. I think that's our great challenge. We should work together. So yeah, yes, that's right. Trying to overcome that and have those conversations. And I think that's what, you know, incubators are very good at doing, is being able to centralize conversations around technology and entrepreneurship so that, you know, you can get good outcomes.
Okay, great. I mean, Sansanee is from Thailand. She probably is quite young, become a director of the Innovation Center. The reason why, because she never wastes time. He wants to do something real and practice. So let's hear what he should think about how to initiate the entrepreneur be different. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Professor Huang. And I think it's true that maybe it's not that young, but I'm in the middle age. So everything that is a new initiative, I want to do it right away. And when I come to the incubator ecosystem, I think it's around 8 years. And the first time training, I go to India. That is the first lesson about incubator, mentoring and coaching something. And we keep do that in the incubator. But sometimes I find a hard time that if the technology is pretty new, how can you find the expertise to add new technology to them? And for the business, we talk about emerging market. Incubator is very hard to find. We are helper, we are facilitator. So it's very hard to find the expert to coach them in the emerging market. That's why 3 years ago, Thailand, we initiate the policy. It's called Startup Thailand. We think that actually government don't need to do one by one incubator, just one incubator. Actually, in Thailand, we have 72 university incubator. I am one of the government incubator, and fortunately, we got the AABI awards, Incubator of the Years on 2016. At that time, I still running incubator in the same way. And when we think about how to do it faster, I think we should build up ecosystem. So 3 years ago, Thailand started to build up Thai ecosystem. We need money. Money don't need to come from Thai investor, right? We do Startup Thailand events annually to be a big event. The first event in 3 years ago is 36,000 people around the world attend. We have a lot of investors come to see startup. Startup, it doesn't need to be just Thai. We invite Taiwan startup. And this year, Taiwan got the winner of the international pitching because Taiwan have a real technology. Malaysia, Thailand, and Southeast Asia are very good on design and the creativity, business model or something. So we think that build up ecosystem maybe is a fast way and good way to do, not just do one by one. And then I am incubator, I'm very tired to do that, right? And one of we have investor, we need money, we invite investor. we have startup. Of course, we have to change something about policy to make the incentive to investor to come invest a startup in Thailand, right? And one thing that I think we should change we try hard to change some regulation, but make people come to Thailand feel that Thailand is ready for build up ecosystem. For me, incubator, we are just one incubator of government, and we have policy to build up the vertical incubators. It means right now Thailand have vertical incubator mean incubator that's specific in some area. Like right now we have property tech incubator. They own a lot of condominium and house in Thailand. Of course, they need smart solution. They have market to start up. So I am incubator. I just match them. They have money, right? Thailand have a telecommunication vertical incubator like AISD Tech True. They need a solution to make the mobile phone more than smartphone. So they have market, they have money. So incubator in Thailand like us have some private sector to help in the concept of vertical incubators. So that's why we try to make the sectorial startup. So it's real easy to vertical incubator can ride on. Like we have property tech, we have travel tech, we have agri-tech, it means agriculture. Okay, so that is what Thailand doing in 3 years, and I am one of the core team to help build up ecosystem. Even it's not complete today, but I can say that it can help to move the ecosystem of build up new entrepreneur or startup a lot. That's what my experience about what I want to do and doing now.
Okay, great. I think the government policy certainly is a key to make things work. Like people actually be able to jump into the high risk the career development. But I think the audience maybe like to know more about how you can help if you like to go to your regions. Because of there's a lot of entrepreneurs. Certainly, Taiwan have a relatively small scale in terms of the population. The limited market, they want to go overseas, right? So like I think we have a very success InnoVEX as a fast growth, double the size of international to come to here. They want to explore the collaboration, also the business. But at the same token, how you can really help, because maybe there's a different segment you think is very interested. So you tell us, the audience, say, what is really can help if they want to go to India, maybe Australia, maybe Thailand, or the Hong Kong related, the area, like for the South China. How about Rajesh? Any things you can share?
No, first thing is, if any company from this region wants to explore opportunities for doing business in India, you are most welcome, because for startups, we give, if they're recommended by any of our RB members, not directly, with the recommendation of any of the RB members, we will host startups 6 months free of cost. All the facilities to explore opportunities in India, we will provide for 6 months. So that's in support that we provide. So that can be done. 2 more things that I forgot to mention earlier.
Yeah.
We also have in India 2% of your surplus from industries is contributed to what is called a CSR fund, Corporate Social Responsibility Fund. Under the CSR fund, incubators can be funded, and that money we use even to give an investment against debt and equity to startups. So it's a CSR, Corporate Social Responsibility money, which is charity money, is available for incubation activities. Some of those companies, for example, I was talking about to Professor Huang when we're talking about IoT solutions. If some solutions are, for example, I'm just giving example of concrete. India is developing more than 100 smart cities. So if you have a solution for a smart cities, and you find it difficult to go into India and directly do business directly, then incubator like us can front-end your business. That means we will do front-end the business and back-end you this till you become successful. So we are there to help partner with you to even to do business. And we do that in case of many startups. So government orders are procured by us, executed by startups. So till they establish themselves. So that's the support we give.
Okay, great. Like Minesh.
From my end, the best support we can provide are in two areas. One, as I mentioned before, we can help these startups, especially in Taiwan and Australia and Thailand and India. Any startups that want to get into the global retail, Hong Kong is the base in Asia where all the global retail comes to buy products and comes to source products. The retailers themselves are facing a lot of challenges. They need to have these new products, new technologies in their shelves. They need to have these solutions to enhance their retail experiences. So they are all coming to Hong Kong. We get in April, we hosted about 37,500 retail buyers. So we can introduce to them. Now the second part of that is we are in Greater Bay Area. So Hong Kong, Shenzhen, the Dongguan area is what we call the Greater Bay Area. It is the base for, of course, there are incubators and supports available in these areas. They're prototyping very, as compared to the Western market, it's inexpensive and very efficient prototyping centers that are available in the Shenzhen Dongguan region. Also, Shenzhen, Hong Kong, the Greater Bay Area is where you would have to go if you are a hardware startup and you want to manufacture. Once you get these orders and you have to produce 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 pieces of whatever product you're making, you need makers, you need manufacturers that can work with you and produce these things for these startups. Startups don't necessarily understand how to go through that production process, how to make products that are, say they're shipping to Australia, what are the regulations in Australia, how do you make a product up to those regulations? And that is very different from prototyping to production, but we can assist in that. And this is what we have been doing, connecting manufacturers and retailers and buyers for the last 40 years or so. So we can help in those areas too as global sources ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah. So in Australia, we have about 40 business incubators spread across the country, mostly in Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne, but also in Adelaide and my hometown of Perth in Western Australia. So it's the same offer as India. Companies can come, establish themselves in our business incubators and join our networks of mentors and connections and people, relationships. And through ARBI, the Asian Association, business incubators in Australia are part of that system. So we support companies in our region. However, Australia's regulations are a little difficult. So it's not so easy. If you're coming to invest money in Australia, the door is open. But if you're a startup, it can be a bit difficult. So the best thing to do is to, if you see market opportunity and you think Australia is a good market for your technology, is to come first, explore, meet some people, come through an incubator and you'll meet a lot of people. And then you need to have a conversation about visas and things because we're not quite so open as Hong Kong is, or, you know, so it's a bit tricky in Australia.
Okay, I think also that's the good advice. Maybe later we'll see, you know, what kind of suggestion you think the, not necessarily startup, what kind of company more suitable in the future. How about Sansanee? What do you think you can help the startup to, if you for a special overseas startup? Yeah.
Okay, I think if overseas startup have the product that Thailand needs, it's very easy because the incubator can help on the soft landing. Okay, you can come and stay and explore the market here. And then we also can link you up to Board of Investment of Thailand that will tell you that what categories of your technology or business that can get the tax privilege or something. So it's easy. But one thing I think is a key. It's you should find a strategic partner, a local strategic partner in Thailand. Because if you are foreign company, foreign startup, you don't know much on the regulation or sometimes behavior. Like our culture, like if you sell some product to Thai people, if your potential customer shoot the question a lot, it means they are interesting. But if they just sit down and smile to you, it means no, your product is not interested. So you don't know that, right? I help many foreign companies do business matching from many countries. So when you don't understand what is the culture, and Thailand, we are not a DIY type. We love total solution. So if you come with you can do it by yourself. It's very easy. It's not going to work in Thailand in some sector. So for my recommendation, you find a local partner that we can help. First, if your business successfully in Thailand, you set up how to hire the people. So local partner can help you on that. So for my strategy, firstly, incubator can help to help you find a local partner in Thailand, and it's benefit to Thai company because Thai company can transfer the a technology or a good product, and then they can help you to expand business in Thailand very easy.
Okay. Yeah, I think the different country might have a different way to help the business, and certainly culture sometimes is very critical to understand how actually we can engage. The next, what I'd like to know is the challenge or the difficult you are actually facing for your own entrepreneur or the overseas entrepreneur. It's the tough time or the frustration you are facing now. Maybe there's something we can learn from the frustration so we don't make the same mistake. So I'm not so sure. We don't need to your answer, but Rajendra might sure have the answer for those. I don't know. Or nothing happened. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very difficult. But I agree with Sansanee. Local culture is fine. In India, I can give you a number of cases. Anybody who comes to India, and Indians have a habit of saying no. We don't have a habit of saying no. We always say yes. And sometimes you go to do business and somebody commits something and says yes, don't take it as yes, okay? Because it takes time, because there's a habit of saying, it's very awkward for Indians to say no. We don't like to say no. So we say yes. But not necessarily it will happen, okay? So you have to be very careful understanding the local culture of doing business. So you have to understand the local economy, local culture. Tax regimes is very important. Sometimes I have lost money because I did not understand tax structure of particular countries. So I made good money, but put all the money in taxes. So ultimately it doesn't reach anything. So one has to understand. So best way, probably some of us could take this initiative is, if we have a small, what we do, if any entrepreneur who comes from abroad to India, for 2 or 3 days, we give a training how to do business in India. What are rules and regulations and laws and tax benefits that you'll get. So this kind of 2 or 3 days training, just orientation and continuous grooming is very important to understand doing business.
Okay, I think that's important, the orientation things, because I see if you go to the different region, the Asian region, you probably need that. Different countries certainly have a different practice in business engagement. So yeah, so you don't need to necessarily answer the frustration of what you are dealing with, but maybe more advanced suggestion that you can come up with to really help. I think maybe I can share the example. The frustration certainly is not all of them born global, right? So yeah, you are trying to push them. I think probably similar. Why we are doing fine, but from the investment perspective, if you not have high growth, why bother to invest, right? So there's a conflict, and also whoever actually come up with the idea, they want to own the idea completely, which is some region might have a different thought, like, well, I'm really good in science, the technology development, but I'm not good in the CEO management. But so I will find good one to do it. But it seems that not Asian culture say, okay, I should own this 100%. I'm smart enough to be a CEO. That's the frustration that I'm facing just throw out the example. So.
My biggest frustration where I sit and we work with all these retailers is that people don't have the MVP ready. And even if they have an MVP, a minimum viable product ready, the startups are still not ready to scale up or be able to produce or manufacture in bulk. A prototype or an MVP, let's say a wearable watch, if somebody makes a wearable watch in a prototype, the components that go in it are completely different from the components that go into it when you manufacture 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 pieces. But a lot of startups forget about that. So that's one of our big frustrations, that they get the orders and they're not able to satisfy those orders. The other is what you said, which is we work with a lot of Asian startups and they're very good ideas. They're very technically very strong, but they're not like the Australians who can sell. So we face the challenges there that they actually have good technology, good products, and I see it happening day in, day out that they're not able to scale up only because they can't sell. It's easy to hire somebody to do the selling, and you have to understand that you have to get those people, get them to sell it for you.
Yeah. I'm glad you said we're good at selling. I'm glad, that's good. I mean, talk about cultural issues. Australia, we have some big cultural challenges in interacting in Asia. There's no doubt about that. I think we're not very good at listening. I think as a people, I don't think Australians are good at listening to what other people or other cultures are saying to us. And I think in business, we tend to come with our view, and you must adapt to our view. I think that sometimes I've seen that through my interaction with Arby, Australians travelling, trying to do some business. They come with their approach and not listening to others. And I think if any tip to any entrepreneur wanting to internationalise is listen more than you speak every time, and you'll learn. And then you learn, and then you change and adapt. So in my incubator, I keep saying that all the time. Shut up and listen.
Okay, that's the.
But the other challenge, if we're talking about challenges, the other challenge we're facing now is for incubators, and perhaps Australia. We're a little further advanced. We've been doing incubation now 35, coming to 40 years now. Long time in the incubator sector, second only to Shanghai. Is that space is not the problem anymore. So we built incubators because we had nowhere to do entrepreneurship from. But now we can do entrepreneurship anywhere. We don't need an incubator. And so and this arrogance, Hank, that you said, that don't need an incubator. So in other words, don't need a mentor, don't need advice. I can do it on my own. I think that's the challenge we're now facing in Australia, that we're now many years down the path of incubation, and people are saying, we don't need the incubator. We don't need the facility. They don't realize much more is happening than in the building. It's not just the building. So much more is happening inside with the relationships and the mentorship and the training and all the other things that we know incubators do. But they're not coming because they don't need space. And that's a real barrier. And I think for our sector, in the incubation industry, I think if Australia is a little further ahead, this may be coming across the region. What are we going to do when our buildings aren't the most valuable, aren't being valued by the entrepreneurs? I don't know. I think it's a work in progress. How do we promote incubation without an incubator, without the need of an incubator?
Okay, I will get to that point later on. Sansanee, any challenges, frustration that you are facing?
For incubator?
Yeah. No, the incubatee.
For incubatee?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you...
First thing, it's because we are incubator under Science and Technology Ministry. So we try to promote them to innovate, or the science and technology is something. One thing that I face with is our entrepreneur, they love to innovate, they love to create, to invent something new. So, and they got many, many awards winner. about innovation, but they are not go to the commercialization. They keep going to do the best of R&D. And then we call the stage is a innovatization. It's not moved to commercialization. So they not get the money from the real customer. They just get the grant or the award winner for innovation. So I think this is something that is a challenge for the tech entrepreneur. They love to do R&D. Second thing, I think, because we have to say that now we are in the age of the new economy. Sometimes they will use the marketing something in the old way, like sometimes they pay to the Discovery Channel or they put them on TV or some billboard to promote the product or something. Now, the challenge is you have to think about new way. Like in Thailand, if you hire some YouTuber, is an influencer in the YouTube, it's going to be good in the marketing channel, right? And we have his own channel now. So we have to introduce new engine to entrepreneur to use the safe cost. Sometimes it's we call sharing economy. You don't need to build up everything by yourself. You have to see the new channel to make your business move. But there's still, no, I think the always still work, but it costs a lot of money. So it's make them move slow and not in time. Third one, I think it's they are never give up entrepreneur. It means actually it's no way to go for your business, but he is never give up, you know. We are incubator, we say, please put it down, do something else. Or maybe you are entrepreneurial in corporate. You are not startup, you are not entrepreneur by yourself, because you cannot build up team. You cannot build up the organization, your company. So I think three things that is very challenge for entrepreneur that I face with.
Okay, that's a pretty good observations. I think the last question I'd like to ask is maybe to ourselves, because we are running the incubator for many years, right? So that's a good thing or bad things, right? So you said you might have the experience, because we have a lot of members here too, right? So we like to tell what need to be changed, because the things that got changed. I mean, especially the government, you know, they may not like you no more, like 30 years in love, but that might be too much, right? So they want change too, right? So the new generation is coming, they don't need you, they can find things different. Maybe it's wrong, but that's the trend. So how can you make yourself change, or what need to be changed? Or you are still in a good position, say, no problem, I can still survive for another 10 years. Or something had to be changed. So I don't know, that's maybe a question for ourselves. So anyone want to answer? I want to put the order yet. Okay. You are not an incubator.
I'm not an incubator, so I can take it easily. And I see it happening every day. But what she talked about in Thailand about the verticalization of incubators, that's a strategy to do. Because initially, incubators, when probably you guys started, was a general incubation for entrepreneurship or enhancing entrepreneurship. And I would think the logic of most of the countries was so that they create more jobs. Because normal way, you're not going to create more jobs, but with entrepreneurs, you create way more jobs instead of giving tax incentives. That was the logic, most of the countries. But now, where incubators are a dime and a dozen, and now it is very difficult. If you are a startup, you are confused which incubator is good for me. Why do I select this incubator over somebody else? So if I have him as an incubator, I have her as an incubator, if I have you as an incubator, he must say, why should I choose either one of you? What is so special? So we need to move towards verticalization, specialization, where, okay, Hang's area of expertise is, say, IoT, and anything IoT, I can go to Hang, and Hang gets more and more an expert into that area. Or Rajesh says, I'm going to take fintech, and I'm going to build everything related to fintech. And any resource that a startup is in fintech needs, I'll be able to provide. Because generalization is not going to work anymore.
Okay, for that part, I will have to some sort of the discussion, because where the money go, we will do something anyway, right? So if the money go to AI, we are AI expert. It may not be, but we'll find expert, right? So how, if we can actually find expert for the entrepreneur, can suddenly find expert for us. So, I mean, there's a flood of money. That I think the IOTA, for example, they are not doing blockchain, but they are the speaker for the blockchain because the blockchain is the heat. People like to attend the blockchain forums, right? So they join the blockchain forum and say they are not blockchain, you know. So, but then they get attentions, you know, like, oh wow, that's a complete, even better than blockchain. So they have a good strategy to doing so. So yeah, I mean, certainly in certain areas like biomedical, you know, they're very specific. The depths is hard to ship here and there. You know, other than that, a little bit. You know, but I totally agree with you. You have to like verticals expertise. You really can have, and you have all the resources. But then, you know, certainly we are again, like we are the incubator. We are not the love of the current government. Or you know, they are trying to do something really different. Or is it true for all the countries? I don't know. India is coming strong, but then it's thought about as an incubator. Is still the trend, or there's something need to be done differently? Rajay, any thought?
No, I think we are talking about incubator models, different models. And I think, yes, government needs to understand that because the policies, unless incubator managers are involved in drafting government policies, things are not going to change. In our case, that has really not happened. Some of the policies which are recent are not good for incubation policies. Even though and government is promoting heavily some policies, which I openly have been saying in the government meetings that it's going to fail, but they won't understand because there are no expertise available. So there's a lot of expectations to perform in terms of sustainability of incubator from the incubator manager without adequate support. So the government will give a very little support and ask you to become a successful, build a sustainable incubator model, which is not going to happen. But in our case, what we have done is, even though we are government promoted incubator, we don't take money from the government. So we ourselves generated enough money through the investments that we run, through consulting that we do, to policy support that we do, and a lot of R&D that we do, which is commercialized. So that became our major source of revenue, and then we built an incubator. Now, without government money, we have now almost 7 major incubator networks without government support. So I agree with you. Unless we incubator managers are sitting in the policy, things are not going to change. But new for-profit incubator models are emerging, but those will be only in high-growth sector. They will not be in a social sector. So for social sector, we need federal support.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, Phillip.
Yeah, so in Australia, we're seeing a shift away from effort in startups. So with, like I said, if we don't need the incubator because the kids are coming through thinking, so the incubators are saying, okay, fine, you can play outside of the incubator, but we'll use this incubator to drive innovation and job creation with scale-ups. So we're moving further along the business journey and working with entrepreneurs who have got through the failure, and the high failure rates at the beginning. They've got customers, they've established the business, and now they want to go to that next level. And I think that's the change we're seeing in Australia. I think we're in transition. It's not there yet, but I think we're moving in that direction. Where government intervention or incubator intervention is coming in at further along the entrepreneur's journey, and then we'll take them to scale. So that's where internationalization then comes in, and so other and VC or Series A funding. So we're moving above angel or seed investing and we're going to the next level. And I think that's where, in Australia at least, we're seeing opportunity for incubation and whatever. So again, if Australia is slightly ahead of other countries for the incubation industry, it means our shift away from startups. And that's a bit scary because what have we been doing for 30 years? We've been working with startups.
Yeah.
You know, I've worked with thousands of startups. To work with scale-ups is a different proposition. You know, your different skill set, different set of mentors, different set of relationships.
Right.
And for the industry, for our industry, that's a challenge. So I think we're in that transition.
Okay, great. Sansanee, how about Thailand?
For my incubator, I think before we run incubators quite a long time, 1 year or sometimes technology is 3 years. We know them since they have the idea to doing business. So we give the training course to do business model, and then they go to market, and then they go to the local market, international market or something. It's quite a long time in Thailand, like 1 year to 3 years. So right now the change is we cut down the process. Because I think startup or new entrepreneur right now, they are not be patient to be with us that long. Before, it's like 3 years graduate, we are a family, and then you're successful, we're like a family, we're together for a long time. But now, they're not that kind of patient. Sometimes they just want, I just need money, because I am in the scale-up stage. So we just do 6 months, okay, we coach you on pitching, on a term sheet or something, talk with the legal, and then demo day, invite many investors, come to see you, and then 6 months, that's it, you graduate. Okay, this is a process. Or sometimes you are ideation stage. We just have a training course, business model training or something, and give some prototype fund, end up with the MVP. That's it, 6 months. So we cut down the process into shorter, not that long, because startup now doesn't have that kind of patience to be with us so long. And we have to be with us. Incubator, we are here to help you, but they are not with us that long. So in Thailand, I think one thing that's very easy is to cut down the process, and then we will get the right person in the stage that they want. I have one program we call Startup Voucher. We give them the marketing expense. This is for somebody who have the first customer already, and they are eager to go to the market and go and grow up and get more customer. We just have 80 voucher for the startup, but it's about 200 applications. It means this program is work. So incubator must change ourselves to be startup to do like a customer validation that our program it's work for them or not.
Okay.
That's my idea.
That's great. That is how the Thailand be so successful recently, right? So we can take a few questions from audience. Any questions? If there's any questions. No, right? So, okay, because it's a time up anyway. So let's conclude our section. Thanks to all our panelists for their thoughtful discussions. Thank you.
Thank you very much.